Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Airy Sky Rita Lee's video blog. I'm Airy Sky, also known as Fleet Admiral Krabby McCoffee. If you're new to the channel, hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up button. If you're coming back, welcome. So we had an interesting discussion last night, didn't we? And this morning. So today we're going to basically load this up again. I had some problems, that's why I didn't get here fast enough, due to the fact that my channel, whatever it is, I asked for my, yeah, there we go. So we're going to be talking today about possible government shutdown and prepping, and possibly throwing in Christmas at the same time. So here we go. So anyways, so today we want to talk about the possibilities. Sorry, I'm trying to do a couple things here. I'm trying to get my tablet charged up so I can actually use it for my treadmill this afternoon. So let's get down to it, shall we? So I woke up this morning feeling semi-refreshed, feeling good for releasing what my opinion was, right, about, you know, the my feelings about what's going on in the world. And, you know, you got these people, and they're like, oh, you're a leftist. No, actually, I'm pissed off to the point that I'm not, okay? Me and my husband, when he was alive, we had a lot of problems. Oh, which reminds me. Here you go. Oh, and I better turn off the bathroom fan when we continue, because that's going to really annoy me when we're doing this, because I don't want the bathroom fan on, because it's not right. Okay, so this morning we're going to do a little coffee time with Rita, and we're going to discuss, before I walk mopping, it's my coffee time. Usually I decided to allocate this to other issues, but this morning I wanted to talk to you about, a lot of different other things, like prepping for the shutdown. Now, I woke up this morning to the government talking about a government shutdown. And I was like, for real? I mean, are we getting to the point where the Dems are going to play that game again? Oh, we got to shut down the government because we got to help people with their Medicaid premiums. I was thinking about Medicaid this morning, people. I'll tell you what I was thinking about Medicaid. It goes like this. They're worried about Medicaid. I know this guy. He's like, oh, I need Medicaid because I can't survive. Right? Well, the guy's an old geezer, right? Now, pay attention here because I was thinking about this today, all right? I run on my treadmill. Well, actually, I walk. I do a slow walk. But that's what I can't. I can't run because my knees are going out. If you didn't know, one of the health issues I want to talk about today is my knees is failing, right? Walking up 28 steps 4 times a day just to walk the dog? Yeah. Anyways, this ain't about my knees today, so let's talk about what I think, okay? You got the government sitting there at Schumer going, we're not going to pass a deal unless you give me extension on the Obama health care thing. You're expiring it finally, and we don't want you to expire it, so we need you to do it, or we're not going to shut down. We're going to shut down the government. Okay. First of all, I'd like to see the numbers of who's going to, the American people are entitled to see what numbers and who gets the Medicaid that you guys extend to get the budget passed again, right? This budget deficit thing. I, for one, want numbers. You guys do too, I bet. And this is where I'm talking today about numbers. Yeah. And why do I say that? I'll tell you what. Because I am fed up with people turning around and saying, oh, well, you can't cut Medicaid. Really? You know what? You can cut Medicaid. Medicaid should be only used for people on SSI or low income. Now, if families aren't making much, then maybe put in they say there's a, maybe re-up and do like 80 hours a work week for food stamps and 80 hours a week for or whatever for the Medicaid thing. I mean, you could balance it out. There's a lot of people out there, but you know what? Someone with severe heart disease, I can tell you, there's a lot of people out there. The guy upstairs, I'm proud of him because he wants to go to work. He doesn't like living on a thing where it takes him 9 months. My adopted brother is the same way. It takes 9 months just to get a basic new 40-inch TV for $100. 9 months, yeah. Think about it. I woke up this morning and I was thinking, yeah, you see? That is something that we need to address this morning. And then you got the other issue. And that is that the government, they want to sit there and blame and shut it down. That's fine. Who's going to be pissing off at the... do you think they're going to sit there and be like, well, 62% of Americans want us to shut down the government because their Medicaid's important. Well, maybe to my stepbrother, but to me, I don't get Medicaid, and a lot of people say, oh, aren't you a cold-hearted bastard? Actually, I'm a cold-hearted super bitch. You see, the things I see from my own eyes, this is why I decided it was time for me to come out and tell you I see things. Fraud, waste, abuse. Yeah. And you guys, like, for example, I talk about the alcoholic craphead. I call him the craphead. Who says, well, can't afford steam cleaning. Can you do it to our local family resource? They're like, no. You walk out with 4 cases of beer and 4.5 gallons of vodka, and you can't afford, because he works 3 jobs under the table, you can't afford, that's IRS tax evasion anyways, but you can't afford. You see where we're going with this, people? You can't afford. You cannot afford. You cannot afford. Yeah. So, as a prepper, are you willing, as some of you government employees, willing to start stockpiling your essentials, foods, toilet paper, paper towels? Because if the Democrats do this, this is another nail in the coffin. I mean, look, you got to ask the numbers. How many MAGAs, how many Republicans, how many independents work for the government that may get shut down? I mean, if this is all they're going to do is shut down the government, be like, oh yeah, well, we control this, but even if he did, the question remains is, will ICE still work? Well, I hope so, because ICE needs to do the job, and I think they should do their job. But at the same time, how much of a government shutdown will be affected? A lot of people say, oh, Donald Trump won't get it because he's a billionaire and he can eat what he wants and drink what he wants and it doesn't matter. Really? Well, that's good and dandy for you guys, but you see, the Democratic message, it's dead. Pretty much it is dead. So when you're sitting here today saying, well, what do I do? Well, let me tell you what I would do. I would be starting, if you guys are government employees, with a 15-day government loom, because we're only halfway through the month and there's 15 days left to go. I would be prepping like crazy. Literally prepping like crazy. Because frankly, now a lot of you guys out there probably saw the thingy where it says, and Christmas. Yeah, we're going to talk about a little bit Christmas prepping too. But I have a few secrets I want to share with you throughout the video times. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be doing a video tomorrow, but I came here this morning to do a video about prepping for government shutdowns. Now, please bear with me. I will be opening up a tab. I was emailing a company this morning on some projects I have to get done, by the way. That's why it's Monday. But you guys get to see the old Biddy here. I'm going to call myself Old Biddy this morning. Oh, Biddy! Anyways, I got to go through 3 websites for pricing. I always do pricing in the mornings to see where the food starts. The food pricing has changed. Because a lot of times you can sit there and go to buy it again. Now, a lot of you, I've had a few people tell me, well, I would like to hear more about your food choices, okay? So it goes like this. So when I go through, I check my buy it again every morning. That's Prepper's thing. And that tells me what is available. Like toilet paper, that paper towels? Oh yeah, no, that's toilet paper. It's toilet paper on sale. So dog food, we spend about $20 a month. We buy small bags and then we fill up this giant barrel. And then as the food goes down, Moppy eats it, But it could take. Sometimes he doesn't like that because the little guy wants gravy bones. So then there's other items we buy. Like for example. As a prepper, we buy, what is it? 6 10-pound bags of bunny food a year. That's about it. And Bun lives on bunny food. Yeah. So, So then the other thing is I look for Ziploc bags. Ramen is on sale right now again. So I always order one on sale. Coffee. A lot of people say, oh, but coffee's expensive. Here's a little tip about coffee, people. I always buy the Kauai Hawaiian ground estate medium and estate dark. That's the cheapest, and it's made in America. So it's more of a made in America thing. Now, Papa Nicholas makes a good coffee, too. Unfortunately, you're paying a little more. And that same goes with my... Don Francisco's Kona blend. The Kona blend is very smooth, but like my adopted brother said, oh, you don't get enough coffee for it. Yeah, well, maybe you should think about it because he's like, oh, I got coffee. So do I. But thing is I always restock with 3-pound cans at Costco. So, but ramen's on sale and everything else. And then I look at gifts ideas for Christmas. And so one of the things I do is I go over to my browsing history, which by the way, apparently Amazon's broken again, because it showed me browsing history from last week, which is pretty funny by the way, but still. And this will literally tell me what I need to know, and that will help with Christmas ideas. Now, me and my adopted brother were talking about computers the other day. Chloe's like, I want a desktop, and the problem is, Chloe's like, you're head of household, you gotta help me with making decisions for a computer. Now, one of the things that we have in the other room is, we replaced our office computer in the dining room due to the fact that we had to have it to go for long extreme trips, because when I go off island for doctor's appointments, we have a battery thing that it'll take about 5 hours to charge through a EV car. So, in those inverters. So we just basically went out and got a computer that will last between 5 and 8 hours. They say maximum without screen, dim, and everything is like 12 hours. But the thing is, I use it on the ferry. And I'll explain what I do on the ferry with a computer. But anyways, so... The second thing is the reason for it is I place orders on the ferry as we go. So I use my Wi-Fi or my adopted sister's if the ferry's wonky. Verizon works everywhere except on the water, apparently. Now, hers is T-Mobile. Apparently, I think they put a T-Mobile tower straight on the ferry to say, hey, look, you can get T-Mobile. But so I'm limited on my hotspot. So, but anyways, that's beside the point. So, let's just get down to it. So, basically, we are looking at desktops for Chloe. Chloe's like, I want a desktop, and I'm like, fine. And then she says, I want a TV, and then I want this and that. So, I've been making progress on the list recently. Anything shipped and sold by Amazon or not Amazon, Walmart with good reviews, yeah, but there's a lot of good ideas, and so we're looking at what companies what. Now, my adopted brother was talking about the Aido Pro 32 quart air fryer, which can do like 12-pound turkey. That would be interesting to try, okay, as a prepper. So, anyways, but yeah, so basically I go through the lists. And I'm looking at everything that can be done, affordability for prepping. Now, a lot of these items aren't really prepping. I mean, pineapple flavored scotch. Yeah, that's just in my wish list to try. Now, I know a couple people yesterday were like, oh, insulting me, dead naming me, calling me an alcoholic. No, I don't drink that much. I mean, last night I made up a second batch of coffee because I had to stay awake for my sister. And my sister was just like, give them hell, give them help. They want to do this, give them help because they don't know what's going on, these trolls, they're just trolls. And we got them under control, and a lot of people are getting upset because they're like, well, wanting to attack me because, they think I'm a leftist. And frankly, I've told you guys time and time again, how would you feel if you were minding your own business and you're minding your own business and you want things to move properly and yet you can't? Yeah, and then you turn around and you say, hey, what gives? And people say, well, yeah, what gives, right? And so a lot of people are thinking that. But the thing is, here's what I want to tell you guys, okay? I'm upset, okay? I'm very upset, all right? I mean, literally. I have health issues. I got health issues, and I got to listen to crapheads violate 3 jobs, 6 jobs, 12 jobs, I'm talking about under-the-table people, and yet they turn around and they sit there and say, oh, the manager can't touch me, the manager can't touch me, and this upsets me. And it upsets you too, because you got these con artists running around doing what? Yeah. And then you sit there and you say, what gives? And they sit there and say, oh, well, you're not worth it. And it's like, I'm not worth it? I am literally not worth it? And it hurts me, because what are we supposed to be doing what are we supposed to be doing? I mean, okay, there we go. So, all pricing has been checked for the day. Well, actually, I double it. But the point is, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, we're allowing criminals to sit there and deal, smoke, sit there and get drunk. I mean, look, how many times have I said, and I quote, we need to protect our people. We need to protect our people. We need to protect children. The guy I'm talking about, for example, he jumps in his car, it's like this. Oh, yeah! All drinking beer. And the police, they see it and they're like, oh, well, he's been here a long time, we can't touch him. So what's the point of having a freaking Democratic-led sheriff if the son of a gun doesn't want to do jack diddly poopers? And then you got people out there turning around and, turning around and, I hate this thing. And what I'm saying is I hate is, so you got people sitting there saying, well, we're going to shut down the government, right? The Dems, they can do it. Let them. Let them do it. Social Security's going to continue unless he says, we can't do it. We got to do an executive order, take away it. You see, I was thinking about this morning while my coffee was brewing, okay? I just want to sit there and say there's people out there that are insane, okay? But, well, let's just say hypothetical. I want to play this out for you all just to, the left is talking about how the right wants civil war. Yeah, because the left is trying to antagonize, right? The left wants to, I don't know, does the left want to be slaughtered or something? I mean, in my opinion, the guy next door, he hates anything Republican. Yeah, he wants to basically put everyone's Republican heads on his pikes. Think about it. And me, here's what I want to say. All right, let the government shut down. We blame the Dems for it because the Dems want something that, the American people maybe don't want. I mean, if you look at the big picture here, what do you guys want? Huh? Do you want to sit there and be like, what do you truly want? My sister says, well, I want them all to get out their ass and work in the cotton fields. Right, that's nice to know. And then you got the government, right? Well, let's break it down on the government shutdown. Who's it going to affect? Okay, and this is why I say you got 14 days, 15 days. If the government does shut down, you should have a backup plan just in case. Because the longer the government shut down, the longer they're going to be like, oh, yeah, the Republicans own it. The Republicans own it. The Republicans own it. That's what Chuck Schumer is going to say, Chucky boy. Why? Because that's all he could say is the Republicans own it. Really? So the Republicans are going to own it. Meanwhile, everyone else is going to sit there and be blamed. I mean, look. Let me tell you the story, okay? The American people turn around. They wake up. They get up. Republican retirees, Democrat retirees, whatever. And they're like, really? You know how many left-wing channels are like talking about their winning? I don't see winning jack diddly poop. Shutting down the government for what? Allowing our military to go furloughed? Our military that can't afford their housing? The military that can't afford their food? They may have to go and apply for food stamps. Our military, I mean, think about it. How many times is people going to turn around and literally, I mean, and this is why a lot of people go, oh, you're a fake prepper. Really. Why don't you go to the prepping channels around the country like CP. Intel came in. We're all going to be nuked. We're definitely going to be nuked. Yeah, think about it. Who's the fake prepper there, huh? Or PB prepper. He turns around and he's always, we're going to give away a gift and da. And then my adopted brother's like, oh yeah, give it to me. I'm poor. I need it. And I'm just joking about my adopted brother. He doesn't say that, but he does say he's poor. But the thing is think about it. Who's this government shutdown going to affect? And are you prepped for it? Because the employees aren't prepped for it. They live paycheck to paycheck, probably. They live paycheck to paycheck. And think about it. I'm going to get some more coffee, but think about it, my friends. Think about it. How much more do you got to sit there and see TSA agents furloughed, not working, just sitting around and being not paid? You think they want to go in and government says, oh, you're mandatory, you got to government, otherwise we're going to shut down the airports. Well, let's do it this way for once. If you can't pay your TSA agents and you can't pay them and they can't get food and they're not prepped properly, then maybe the TSA agents should say, hey, we're walking off the job and we're going to blame it on the Democrats because they can't come to an agreement to keep our checks going. All because they want to basically stop the country and also just shut down air traffic controllers and see what happens when your packages on Amazon can't be delivered because, you got the government shutdown. Yeah, think about it. And that means the economy takes a hit too. Think about it. The economy is going to take a hit because these people turn around and shut down your government for what? I mean, you got to ask yourself. You may be watching my channel. You may be looking at my numbers and being like, oh, I'm just a lowly peon like she is. Yeah, I'm a peon. But guess what? Peon. But the truth is, I got to get my coffee, so give me 1 second. The truth is, you got to ask yourself in retrospective is between you and I, who's going to affect? the government employees, the military. Is it going to affect you and me? Not really, unless you turn around and you find out the Coast Guard's not working well, and you're out of water, and you're like, oh, the Coast Guard's not that. Literally, the Coast Guard would be working on a ship. They got plenty of groceries, anyways. But anyways, the Coast Guard would be on a ship with groceries, with a cook, but they're working, and they're like, and this is why the military has been told, no, you may not turn around and make statements against the commander-in-chief. That's true. I mean, think about it. I mean, literally. But a lot of you people, like, I hear it's like 62% of true Americans, that's what I hear. The MAGATs are getting lower and lower numbers all the time. That's what I hear, by the way. I want numbers. I want facts. Anyways, these media people are like, oh no, only 32% support Trump. It's going to go down the toilet as his economy blows up and people's faces. And then, I mean, you hear these, and then you hear these Democrats. I mean, I'd like to say, oh, the president's lying. Really? Well, I'd like to see the numbers first before I'll go and spew my tongue that they're lying. Because right now, both sides aren't giving me answers that I like. For example, are we going to be having more factories around the country, putting in new factory jobs? Because Lutnick says so, but if it doesn't happen next year, I'll be wagging my finger going, bad. But the thing is you got to ask yourselves, and that is, are we prepared for government shutdown? And the thing is if this is what's going to change out and get rid of either party, that's fine by me, because I'd like to see how they can dig themselves out when they basically are demanding health care for. Well, where's the health care going? Oh, where did the health card to go to? Think about it. So they're going to shut down the government, people, for what? For a Medicaid extension or Obama extension. Well, why don't you just turn around and say, oh, well, my constituent wants to reimpose and fix the food stamp thing again, so we take away that, but the big, beautiful bill. And then what's next? We're going to cut out the tax cuts for the billionaires. I mean, I don't understand the tax cut for billionaires. Maybe it's not supposed. Maybe that's as they say in Star Trek lore, and Star Trek 1, the motion picture. That may be above my pay grade. Oh, yes. Yeah, it's another Seattle Times thing. Scooter accidents are on the rise. Big deal. So, here we go. Coffee time with Rita is commencing again. So, the point is are you guys prepped? A lot of people say, some of you don't have the money. That's the thing. A lot of people don't have the money, all right? But point is a lot of people don't have the money. And I don't blame you. But who are you going to blame? You blame the Democrats? Or are you going to blame the Republicans? Because, frankly, I said in previous times, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't believe in any party. If they can't come together and pass something that will benefit the country, I mean, that's where we're at right now in the country is, what's going on? I mean, think about it. I come on here today to tell you all about the, what's going on in the world. And, a lot of you guys, need to realize that we're at a precipice. I mean, a lot of people thought always thinks, oh, well, they're intersex. They must be on the left. What I see with my eyes, I've always been my own person, and yet I've always kept my political affiliation quiet because I don't want to be targeted. And it's hard when you got all these people around you that all they want to talk about is the guy needs to fall over from a Big Mac overdose of gravy sauce or Big Mac sauce. And it's like, dude, I'm an ordained minister. I got people that sit there. My sister and I talked about that. You don't talk about praising or praying for wanting someone to fall over dead. Is that what we've become in a country or in the world? Did people sit there and pray that Hitler fell over dead? Hitler actually killed himself, but that's beside the point. Point is look around, people. We're in a precipice where, you got all this hatred, and you got hatred, and it bothers me. I mean, literally, the guy next door, he wants to kill people. He's got weapons. He's like, I'm going to go kick down doors and kill people. And the sheriff's like, well, we're not dealing with them. We don't want our legs cut off with a 12 gauge. So, I mean, think about what's going on in the world, people. These people are a threat, okay? You got the old lady. Oh, hello, CPS. Oh, yeah, the neighbor's abusing another neighbor. Oh, yeah, CPS. Yeah, Miss Rita's being taken advantage of. Am I being taken advantage of? Wow. I got up this morning, had my morning coffee. Praise the Lord, I'm alive. Yet, you guys get it, right? Yeah, I mean, think about it, my friends. Think about it. Think about it. It's funny, isn't it? It is literally funny. Yeah, so, I just wanted to share that with you. I mean, if you look at it, there's a lot of hate in this country. People say, oh, well, you hate the I don't hate anyone, okay? I just like them, okay? And the reason for it is, think about what I said in last night's video. Why I'm freaking angry, okay? I'm angry because you got stupid butt moron fart box crap heads, the sheriff that doesn't do jack diddly crap. You got people sitting here committing fraud, waste, abuse. And yet, my friends turn around and they say, what can we do, Rita? Either report it, don't report it, leave it alone, or call someone a loon. I mean, literally. I mean, remember what I said last night, right? They sit there and they want a government shutdown. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you can have a government shutdown. But the question you got to ask yourself is, if you're going to have a government shutdown, you got to ask yourself. I've talked to many people in the mental health profession, okay? And you know what they say? They say if it wasn't for both parties cutting funds, we wouldn't have mentally ill people running around killing people. They would be detained and put into the right people. Now you got, this guy here is an alcoholic. He does drugs and he drinks and drives and he may hit a kid, but we can't take away his rights until the kid gets killed. Or he runs over an old lady with a walker. See? I'm just saying, hypothetically. And yet, the state of Washington has so severe criteria that our commander-in-chief says we need to take some of the homeless people that won't refuse treatment and put them in. One guy said put them in jail. Another one on Fox. Another one says euthanize them. I don't want to see Chloe euthanized. No. But do I see Chloe turning around and getting help? No. But I'll tell you why there's a problem in this country. You see, people like me get overlooked on YouTube for these people. And they sit there and they say, oh, this person's weird. But what have I told you in the last 2 days? Things that you guys probably didn't know. The mental health system's broken. You knew that already. But you didn't know that most blue states basically will not allow you to boot someone with an addiction. Yeah. The addicted person is more protected than the non-addicted person. Now, someone turned around and said, if I was drinking every day, which my adopted brother knows I only drink with Chloe around because, well, you can't handle Chloe. Then you got the addicted people. Addiction. I'm just pointing directions because there's a lot of them in this building. There's a lot of them in the other ones. But most of the people on subsidized housing that has a subsidy, most, not always, are addicted to drugs. Now, moderator Zoe, if she was here, moderator Zoe would literally tell you that she knows the person I'm talking about, literally. Mr. I hate anyone who talks bad about a Democrat. Really? Well, I'm sorry to say, but I would defend Zoe in a heartbeat on that one because Zoe had her own opinion, and this bastard threw her out of his own apartment because he couldn't take the heat for her basically asking questions of things that he's so claiming that Democrats are cool. This is the same guy that wants communist socialist. He wants to go to college for 6 years, then he wants the government to give him money the rest of his fucking life because he thinks he's entitled and you should be paying for it. While he goes and does nothing. And yet, he's working 3 jobs, he's 70 years old, and he's a craphead geezer that doesn't have a life. And then he bitches about everything. While drinking 4 cases of beer every time he comes back. He's got 4 cases of beer and 4 half gallons of vodka and a stack of 2 liters of 7-Up or Pepsi to drink his vodka cocktails. That tells you all you need to know, people. And the manager can't evict. The manager can't evict him for being a crackhead, a meth head, a pothead, heroin user, a downers, whatever he can get his grubby hands on. Now, I ask you out of love for all people. These people need treatment. They don't get treatment. They should be locked up into a hospital because they refuse treatment. Yeah. I have never touched a drug in my life. Yeah. Except for I've tried a couple times with moderator Zoe's present out in the middle of pot. And that didn't do too well for me. Made me laugh though. But you see, that was it. But point is, didn't do anything for me. Now, lately I'm not drinking because, well, Chloe's not around. 2 is, there's problems. Now, when it comes to Chloe, for example, a lot of people say to me, well, your channel is great, but, prepping's one of my keystones. But my other keystone is, besides prepping and these government employees need to prep, is, have you ever looked around and went into places like the mental health system and looked around and said, okay, I want to see what the mental health system's got, right? You go in there, like I've been in with all Chloe's appointments, or on the phone, Chloe always called me, or on the radio, right? Again, let's talk about that for a second. It's broken. A couple people run these programs where if you have a problem, you can call a certain number, and then they can connect you to a crisis team, which will evaluate over the phone for 5150s. But again, state of Washington's got 4 criteria. 4 you have to meet, all 4. 1, are you a danger to yourself or others? Ding, 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 ding. Are you got substance or alcohol abuse? Ding, 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 ding. Are you in imminent danger in the next 4 hours? Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, so you got all the, I can't remember the last one, but anyways, the point is if you can meet all 4 criterias, then you could literally get. See, this is where I come and shine with you guys, because people realize, oh, I've had to deal with Chloe for almost 9 years. Okay, now, you're saying, like I get nasty emails from time to, oh, you're just jealous of Chloe's look. Really, Chloe's freaking wearing a hijab, covered completely up. And by the way, they're only, they're Muslim now, and they always belittle anyone that isn't Islam. Think about it. And you got to ask yourself why. Now, we're not here to talk about Chloe's religion. Now, on to the things. Okay, so the mental health system's broken. They can't touch anyone in blue states with an addiction because the addiction is their choice. But in a red state, we're there to get rid of these freeloading hobos and get them off the addiction. But thing is red states have higher jail sentences. Where's the blue states? Lenient. Yeah, lenient. So even if you decide you flip all states red, it would take them a long time to go through all the books and redo all the blue laws. I mean, think about it. All these states are now basically trying to pass gun control, and yet the NRA and GOA is like, oh, well, and then the Supreme Court says, oh, that state's fine to take away guns. Really? That's great and dandy. So you're taking away guns because, well, state law says so, but where is the part where it says the rights of to bear arms shall not be infringed? It'd be like turning around people and saying the rights to drink coffee shall not be infringed. Nah. And then they say, oh, we're going to ban coffee because it's a stimulant. It's an addiction. It's a drug. Wow. Now, you guys now understand that, for the last 20 plus years, I've seen African Americans, love those people. A lot of them, my baby's daddy's the government. Really? That's funny. Baby's daddy's the government. Wow. Then you got the African Americans turning around and doing what they can to help the people. They're not even in this fight, because they're like, well, you sold us all up river. You took away DEI. I don't know anything about it, but oh well, right? Then you got all these people boycotting companies like Amazon, Walmart. Amazon's taking a hit. Walmart's taking a hit. Target's taking a hit. But what happens if these companies slowly go bankrupt? Anyways, as a prepper, you need to prep for all situations. That's why I work in the evenings sometimes, working on prepping projects to make myself and life is better. Fortunately for me, I've learned a few tricks thanks to being self-sufficient, thanks to my cousin Dinky. So shout out to Dinker. Now, I love all of you. I do. And you got to prep, and prep hard, and prep fast. Because in the end, what's going to happen? Government shuts down. I mean, literally, if the government shuts down, people are going to be pissed off as is, and it's going to be the Democrats' fault because they're going to basically try to force health care for the elderly and the disabled and the whatever by shutting down the government because that's all the leverage they have. Come on, man. If you're going to shut down the government for something, shut it down for something that means wow for the Democrats. If health care is the only thing that they're worried about, then the Republicans should just turn around and gut the government phone service. Gut things that the Democrats put in bills. If you're not getting treatment for mental health because you're on addiction, even in a blue state, cut them off. I mean, there's so much the Republicans can do. Instead, that it's a tit for tat. Oh, well, thing is, think about it. I want to see some numbers, first of all. And if these numbers are accurate, like I think they are, and the Democrats are hiding the numbers, then you can't trust the Democrats. I mean, literally. The point is, I'm getting to the point where I'm tired of getting up in the morning and seeing alcoholics, drug users, getting away with blue frickin' murder. Yeah, getting away with it. And turning around, and what are they doing? They're literally sitting there. I mean, look, a lot of these transgender people, they're like, oh, you can't take away my health care. It's against the rules. Well, they found a way around it. Okay, they've terminated the Obamacare subsidies, which means the Affordable Care Act is probably literally gutted anyway. So, there's people out there that they say, people like hermaphrodites or certain intersex people that will be happy with the surgeries and are, that they're not male and they're not female, but they can't reproduce, but they can't sperm drop. That's what the Quran says, then yeah, let him have it. But the point is, you got all these people that want to sit there, oh, well, I'm a woman in a man's body, and I need a sex tank because, I need guys. And why do you think the guys are upset? I saw a post today. You know what the post today said on Instagram? Oh, 4 years post-operative. I'm going out tonight. I'm going to show off. I'm going to get my cherry popped again and again and again. Is this the stuff that I want if I was adopting a child today? And I was raising that child. I would love to be a parent, by the way. I would. Even Zoe knows this. Do you think I want my kid to go to Instagram or Facebook and see someone talking about how they're 4 years post-operative, their penis has been inverted, and they're ready to get their cherry popped over and over and over? This is the stuff that people need to realize. I mean, I love transgender people, don't get me wrong. But when they post this crap on Instagram, you gotta wonder who's got the mental illness. Do you see me thinking about sex? Oh, yes, by the way, we're going to talk about sex for a second because I think you're going to enjoy this little conversation about sex. So I was talking to, So, one of my papers fell off last night. We'll just leave it right here. It's good. So, here we go. I got a joke for you, okay? And it's a joke to me. It's an inside joke, okay? The other day, this was years ago, my cousin Dinker, a.k.a. my adopted sister, she's also my cousin-in-law, sister cousin Dinker says to me, do you think of sex? No. Well, what do you think about? Video games. She says, you must be really effed up. Think about that. I don't think about sex. I'm one of the few people that are intersex, like I said, different, that wakes up in the morning, makes my morning coffee. I'm like my mama in many ways. Don't talk to me. I haven't had my 4 cups of coffee, but today I'm here to tell you what I'm thinking. And yet, there's the people out there. Remember what I said about the Instagram? My cherry popped over and over. Okay, well, you want your cherry popped over and over and over. Well, let's talk about that for a second. It goes like this, people. I'm not against the trans community. What I'm against is going to support groups and all they're talking about is sex. That's all they talk about, sex with men. Now, you can take it from me. As an ordained minister, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, yeah. And then, the thing is even my adopted mom, who's transgendered, who I love dearly, she doesn't talk about sex. She doesn't talk about that. It's all these young ones like, oh, I got to pass, and then they turn around and the young ones are now trying to ram it down the democratic states to put children on hormones at 3 years old. I saw a report 20 years ago where these kids were on hormones. It was on the local news here in Washington. 97% of them did themselves in because it was the wrong thing. Think about that. 97%. Now, that was like 20 plus years ago, 25 years ago. Might have been long, but these parents were doing it because that's what their kids wanted. Supposedly. Kids can't make a decision. There's a guy out there that made a video on YouTube and Amazon and so forth. It's called What is a Woman? What is the definition of a woman? And one of the doctors who used to live here in Seattle, who moved to Colorado, who's now in California, claims we have to make our children post-operative before 18 so they can pass very well so guys can't detect them. Or something to that effect. I'm sorry, but I don't support anyone under. My opinion is you could start it at 18, but I think you need to look at the big picture. At 18, you still can't make your decisions. Maybe make it 25, 26, 30. The male hormones apparently turn around and literally go into super mode between 35 and older. So think about that, people. As an old lady, an old biddy, I know what I'm talking about. So do you really want children in the future to be indoctrinated? This is what upsets me. People don't understand. They say, oh, but you support. No, I don't. A child can't make his own decision. It'd be like sitting here saying to the kid, do you want a handgun or do you want a BB gun for your first gun? You don't give him a BB gun unless it's supervised. You don't give him a handgun and say, here you go, kid. No. The point is the American people are basically turning around and things. Now, I support same-sex marriage. I do. Everyone should be entitled to be miserable. Now, that's my motto. But the question you got to ask yourself is how much more are you going to take? And I mean it in a way that people can understand. I mean, literally. There's some Republicans out there that claim they need more help, which they don't. They just say, oh, I qualify because of my income? Okay. Then there's programs out there, but the thing is, the government has put so many of these programs in, and there's people out there. Remember what I said about our local area where a guy wanted to start carpets clean. They said, no, you're an alcoholic, right? And then, you could go and turn around and sue and probably win and be like, oh, they're discriminated because I'm an alcoholic. I need money. And the guy lost $4 million apparently of his inheritance because he was stealing from his mom's money as power of attorney. And then, he got kicked off. And yet, there you go, federal crime right there. And yet, the government turns around and says, oh, he's got an addiction and we got to protect him. And yet, you see where I'm going with this, people? The justice system doesn't frickin' work. No, it didn't work under Trump one. It didn't work under Biden one. It didn't work under Obama. It didn't work... Biden one, you know what I mean. It didn't work on a lot of things. But they're basically passing all these bills and they say, oh, well, if you committed this crime or that crime, we have to enforce it. How are they going to enforce it? A lot of these people, they're pissed. They're pissed because the justice system is being used for other things. Literally, think about what I just said. How many times have I told you that the American people is pissed off that the alcoholics and the drug users get more privileges than average Joe Blow, like my adopted brother who's living on peanuts, which doesn't matter to me, okay? It's his... I'm trying to help him. But the point is he's living on peanuts, and yet... he's not addicted to drugs, so they're like, ooh. But then you got other issues. Yeah. Think about it. Other issues. Huh. Let me just tell you, it doesn't bode well, my friends, because some people are literally upset. Yeah. So my opinion is this is stuff that needs to come out. And are you prepping enough? Yeah. Literally think about it. These people, they don't prep. They live one day at a time, and if the government shuts down, let me ask you a question, hypothetically, okay? Hypothetically. I got severe heart disease. I'm getting tested to see if I have brain cancer or I'm up there at stroke level from stress. But I want to share with you something important. The government turns around and says the only ones complaining would be the ones that committed fraud, right? Drug user, drug user, drug user, drug user, drug user, drug user, drug user. Yeah, addiction. And yet, Washington would jump in and say, oh, well, these people have an addiction, you can't cut them off. Fine, we won't cut them off, but send them to a 30-day addiction treatment program. But guess what? It doesn't work because once they get out, they basically crave their drug or their alcohol, and they go straight back to it. The thing is what you have to do is you have to make a tighter system. For example, what if I told you one way you can do that is, as a prepper, you prep ahead of time. You set up a wall where, you guys got someone that comes into someone's house, And they say, oh, we're here to inspect for alcohol, right? Yeah. And, or they make sure that the grocery stores all know you can't buy grog. Now, people just like locally, but what if you turn around or put it into a database on your state ID, no alcohol purchase? I mean, they could do something like that, but the point is are they going to do that? Negative, because most of these people, they don't think about these ideas, how to implement them. That's the problem. But as a prepper, are you prepped for the other issues? And I would say no, you're not. Because if the government shuts down, you got to ask yourself, are you disabled? Are you elderly? Are you retired? How's it going to affect you? How's it really going to affect you? My brother, adopted brother, but well, it affects me really. How's it going to affect you? You're going to be flying somewhere where the airlines are basically the air traffic controllers are going to pay not paid for working. TSA agents, the military. How's that affect you in your state? Think about it. To me, it doesn't affect me. It won't accept me. It's not going to affect me because unless they decide, and here's a theory I never got to tell you about, right? Now, remember I was talking about, they're talking about, they're like, oh, the Dems are like, oh, they want civil war, they want to kill us all. Really? Well, like I said, I don't support someone or an organization that literally turns around and tells druggies, it's okay, we have that on the books, we can't touch you. And yet, the best course of action, and this is something that I know that would be a thing, you see, apparently my apartment manager's parents, who were the repair people, were heavy potheads, minimum. And they retired. So you're sitting there thinking, okay. Now get this. You want to cause a civil war? I'll give you one answer you can basically bet and take to the bank that would cause a civil war between Repubs and Democrats. I wouldn't recommend it. But it may just cause an overthrow of the government too, which I wouldn't highly recommend either. But a theory I came up with while I was in bed this morning was, if the president decided to sign an executive order basically stating, because he's saying, U.S. ID and all this money that's allocated from Congress, he's freezing, right? But if he gets an airbrained idea to freeze Social Security, just say, fuck it, I'm freezing it. You ain't getting a dime. You're not getting a dime on SSI, you're not getting a dime on SSR, Social Security Retirement, you're not getting any on SSS, Social Security Survivors, and you're not getting it on SSI, right? Or SSDI. What happens? Every person would take up arms. And that is a given fact. That would be the catalyst for a war. But if he just keeps checks flowing, he can't do it. But you see, I'm not here to give any ideas. I'm here to basically say this is something that could happen. And that's the thing. I mean, that could be the catalyst. But then again, I mean, he could turn around and say all blue states ain't getting Social Security checks, even though there's Republicans in a blue state. They may not get checks. He could sit there and say, I'm cutting off all Democrats who aren't registered Republican, and you're not going to get a check. I mean, that could cause a literal civil war, too. I mean, think about it. And, the thing is the American people, I mean, there's a lot of people who want war, but thing is, right now, the only thing I'd like to say is we need to simmer we need to drop and cool the temperature with the cold air and drop the war thingy, because I've given you a few theories already of how it could be done if you really wanted to. See, I'm a thinker. Fortunately, my problem is the American people need to basically see what the Democrats are going to do when it comes to this. I mean, literally, the Democrats want to strengthen the Affordable Care Act. Now, again, before I would sit there and say, okay, you want to basically stall up the freaking government for Obamacare because of it, I would like to know the numbers of why you're shutting down the government for this amount of health care. Right? And if that's not good enough, they could add food stamps. We want to extend food stamps. Well, then that's good and dandy too, but I'd like to see the numbers. Who will it benefit? Let's think. thing is who is it going to benefit? Food stamps? And shutting down the government, food stamps and Medicaid. I mean, literally. I mean, you got all these people. I mean, literally. I mean, here's what I see, okay? You got a Democratic Party that doesn't even have a message. You know, you got AOC and Bernie Sanders and a few others working overtime, trying to keep democracy alive, But democracy's alive. Unfortunately, they're claiming, there's people that are a dictator. Now, a dictator, if there was truly a dictator, he would just sit around and say, okay, I'm cutting off all Social Security to Democrats. Then see the war start. Or you could sit there and say, I'm shutting it off for all of you. Or you could just sit there and keep the checks flowing. But do you see where I'm going with this? The point I'm going with is the American people, they don't know what's going on. That's the thing. I don't. I watch left-wing media and I laugh. I watch right-wing media and I laugh. I say, what is the facts? My facts are this. I want to see the numbers. The American people are entitled to see the numbers. Now, people say, oh, we're entitled to Epstein files. Well, if that's what you want, then go for it. But me, I'm entitled to the numbers. I want the numbers. I want to know why you're basically pushing for the repeal so you can reinstate the Affordable Care Act under Obamacare. I want to know why you're repealing if this is all you guys want, then you guys make a piss poor party, because all you do is basically sit there and you claim that there needs to be more money for health care, but you guys cut health care. And then you claim the Republicans cut health care. The red states probably got better health care for mental than frickin' blue states. The blue states keep cutting health care. And you claim, oh, it's all the Republicans' fault. Republicans' fault! Think about it. I'm tired of hearing people say that. I mean, look, I see it all the time. I mean, let me tell you, me and Zoe once, we were talking, right? Bless Zoe's heart. I miss her. I do miss her. I'll admit that on this channel. One time we were having coffee and she said, Rita. Yep, true story. She says, there's more alcoholics on this island and drug users than they know what to do with. Why? Because the wages are low and no one's getting no one's getting a real wage. Think about it. So that there tells you what you need to know. Yeah. Now, Zoe is completely right. Yeah, we won't go in there. But here's the thing about the rest. The American people need to realize that we're going to see in the next 15 days if they can come together with a deal. If the government, if Chuck Schumer is pushing for a thingy, and then they're pushing to put in the budget better security for the senators and Congress, all because of beloved Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated, then the Democrats ain't going to go along with it. They're going to be like, nope, we're not going to do it unless we get what we want. I mean, literally, is this all we're going to have be? I'd like to say something, okay? Congress and the Senate work for us. Now, if we have to give them extra protections, then the Democrats may be right in one aspect. They need to give us something in return. We're paying for extra protection for what? What are we paying them for? Why should we pay our property taxes, our state taxes, our federal taxes to pay for these guys' salary when they're not giving us anything in return? They're not giving you anything. You're basically sitting there at home watching me going, she maybe have a point. I'm not trying to say we need to revolt or anything. I don't recommend violence. I don't support violence. I don't support a revolt. I'm just asking hard-line questions. When is it that your Democrat or Republican Party actually did something for your community, for your people? All I hear is, all these people saying this and all these people saying that. I'm sorry, but I don't know what to tell you guys. I really don't. So, in my opinion, it doesn't get any easier. Now, one day, maybe I will explain here on YouTube why the trans community doesn't like me. But you know what? The thing is right now you got to ask yourself the big question of the day. Like I said, I was watching some left-wing media who's all talking about, the trans community, and they were talking about one particular person in general who's a Trump supporter. Well, they're out there. Yeah, hold on, I'm going to say something. So, there we go. So, a Trump supporter, right? And that is, people are attacking her. Oh, well, if you can attack a transgendered person who is maybe supporting Charlie Kirk's assassin, then we need to go after transgendered people. So let's start with these beautiful ones like this one that's a Trump supporter. Really? So you want to target this person because they're a Trump supporter, and you want to target, so it's like if you're going to... So what they're saying is if we're going to go for one, we're going to go for all. Oh, okay, cool. I'll support that. I'll take the heat as long as you go after everyone. Now, let me tell you a story, okay? Remember what I said in the beginning of the video. There's transgender people out there that want FFS, facial feminization surgery. They want breast implants. They want to pass so well a guy can't detect them. And there's ways a guy can detect them. If a guy's not getting ready to have sex, he can tell the man-made female genitalia, man-made, is not natural like a female. I can tell if you have been with women enough, you can tell. Fortunately, these people turn around and they think that they're more entitled to men. A lot of the transgendered women, the guys are interested in them is because they can't get laid. So they figure, why not just have a trans girlfriend to do it? But then they get picked on too, these men. Some of them are nerdy people. Some of them are undesirables, you can say. And I got a thing I got to update eventually in the name of Aaron. But, yeah. And that's going to be an interesting concept. But right now we're not talking about that. We're here to talk about, why they don't like me. Because I speak the truth. I'm one of those undesirables. But did I do it for the wrong reason? No. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm comfortable telling you we need to prep. I'm comfortable telling you that most of the American people are tired of what they're seeing in the world. I mean, literally, if the government shuts down, not my problem. Why isn't it my problem? Well, my adopted brother would say, oh, well, there isn't a problem. No, it isn't. It's not my problem. It may be your problem because you want to make it your problem, but it ain't my problem. As long as, what's the government going to do? To me. Think about it. What are they going to do? They're going to defund, and they're going to shut down the food pantries for all. Food pantries usually around here get donations. Bad food or expired food or, cash donation. Do you think I'm worried? Oh, no, I'm not worried. Maybe your food pantry may shut down. But is that all that's going to happen in the country? The USDA doesn't pay? Food stamps are allocated. I think it's every 6 months to a year. Do you really think we're worried about food stamps? I shouldn't. Well, why shouldn't I? Because I'm easily $23. Yeah, 23. Now, if they turned around and said, well, the government's shutting down. I made an executive order turning off food stamps until the government, the bills get passed. These people will be contacting their Democratic people and saying, hey, you better be passing the damn thing so I can eat. Yeah, this is the thing. If they turned around, you could see, here's what I can tell you. You turn off food stamps, you're going to have Republicans and Democrats basically, and independents basically contacting the representatives and saying, hey, dude, I can't eat. Pass the damn bill so I can eat. That could happen too, and then you can tell how many people are literally contacting via email, via phone, via whatever. I mean, think about it. Think about it. Yeah, and that is something you may want to think about. I mean, these are ways to test. Yet, has anyone tried it? No. I hear things like, well, if the government shuts down, then the government doesn't pay subsidies. Yeah, they just get a note, an IOU as usual. But what if the owners say, I don't want an IOU, I want to get paid, and since the government shut down at your stupid expense, think about it. Think about it, people. What do you think? Prepping is not an art. You just got to keep extra supplies and rotate out as you need it. That's what happens. I prepped. I got extra rent paid. I got extra rent, extra food, extra supplies. And yet, the American people claim, well, that they can't make it work. Maybe. Why do you think young people nowadays don't want children? And they're saying, oh, you're going to be a woman, you're going to live in a home, you're going to be a little wifey, and you're going to pop out babies. Your husband's going to go to work. But then they find out that the family can't afford an apartment unless they have 2 jobs. Family can't afford a kid, and the family can't afford a house or anything else. So, who's the one that's basically seeing the American dream die? Yeah. You got to ask yourself, people are literally seeing their country fall apart. And yet, what's going to happen? I can tell you a lot more will happen. But these people that are government employees, 400,000, 800,000, 2 million, whatever it is, they all get furloughed. They don't eat. And if they don't eat, government can turn around and say, we're turning off food stamps for everyone because these people need to realize, I mean, think about it. Rumor has it, I'm just saying rumor has it, okay, from the left, okay? I say rumor, allegedly. They want to see how long that they can shut the government down and turn off Social Security at the same time and SSI. Wouldn't that be interesting? Well, we're going to turn it off and see if the heat gets there where elderly die, possibly. Or they'll turn it off, and then they'll say, well, we turned off Medicare and Medicaid, VA too. I mean, if they decided to cut all this down, they basically turned around and say the VA is shut down until further notice. What is this? Anyways, for further notice, and then they say, well, Medicaid is cut off. Yeah, think about it. If Medicaid was cut off, yeah, if they turned around and said, okay, you're going to shut down the government, we're shutting down Social Security, we're shutting down Medicaid, we're shutting down Medicare, we're shutting down food stamps, we're shutting down the government phone. And you're going to see the Democrats cry and complain that their leaders turned around and did it for freaking health care. Thing is, the Democrats, I think, are not smart ones. They are doing it for the stupidest reasons. I say, keep putting pressure on your elected officials, and we'll see how this plays out. Otherwise, keep on prepping, prep hard, prep fast. I will see you in the next video because, like I said, it's not going to be easier. Oh, and because I didn't talk about Christmas tips, I'll have to add that later when I get done with my treadmill workout because we didn't get to Christmas, but yeah, the thing is, you can see why I'm starting to get upset and why we all need to prep. Because we could end up with civil war, nuclear war, World War III. And I'm just here to give you a warning. I don't want war. I don't want bloodshed. But I do want people to hear, people to say, look, there's a person that has experience 20 years ago going into welfare office waiting 8 hours because their skin color is white. While a Hispanic walks in there, gets out in 5 minutes with a check, a bunch of money and bling, and walks in and drives a Cadillac or Corvette. Think about it. Is this the country you want to live in, where we're giving handouts to refugees and others while the poor are getting poorer? Look at my adopted brother. He's living on peanuts. Yeah. Think about it. Anyways, like I said, I got to use the restroom and go number 2, I think is what it's called. So, anyways, in the meantime, please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestion. Hit the like, subscribe button. Hold some fun for your family, including your dogs, your cats, your bunnies, your service dogs, your service bunnies. Hit the bell notification, thumbs up button, subscribe button. Keep the comments nice. That's all we ask. Thank you, and God bless you in everything you do.